thank you for joining us here on the Arizona Daily Wildcat. I'm Saul Bookman, and joining us today is head coach of the Arizona women's basketball team, Adia Barnes. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
How has the early part of the season gone for you guys so far?
It's gone well. There's a lot of stuff to work on, but every day I feel like we're getting better, and every game we're improving. But, it's work in progress.
What has been the highlight of the early part of the season so far?
I think the highlight has been just the team effort, the way that we're able to play together. We're taking care of the ball a lot better than we were at this point last year. Probably at this point we were averaging over 20 turnovers, and this is with a really young team. Last year, a senior-heavy team. And I think the exciting style we're playing and the way we're sharing the basketball. A lot of extra passes and unselfishness, and that's been really fun to see.
What have you learned going from year one to year two that maybe you didn't know before?
The patience, and I think Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think that's hard when you're a competitor. It's like you want stuff yesterday.
That is a lot of cliches.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot. It's really hard. So I think that just being patient and sticking to the process of just getting better every day. And I just really try to remind myself of that. Don't look ahead. Don't look at the Pac-12. Don't look at what I want to win in non-conference. Look at every day and winning every game. And every game is going to be a challenge. We don't have a long bench, and we don't have a lot of size, but then we have to be creative in other ways. So learning every day is just the process.
As the coach, it's easy to say that, and probably harder for you to say that. But for the fans, it's kind of hard to not get excited about what's in the future, especially with your recent recruiting class, number 4 overall. How much work did it take? And I know you've been on the record saying that you didn't expect it to come this fast. How much work did it take to really get those 5-star recruits and even the transfers to come in here, and all of a sudden you're looking like almost a completely different team next year as well?
Yeah, I think it took a tremendous amount of heart, like blood, sweat, and tears. If you talk to Sunny, who's been coaching over 30 years, it was our hardest year last year. I mean, we had, I think it was 16 official visits going from last year, when we first got here, then to the new year. We had like 29 unofficials. So It was just a tremendous amount of things and work, but that's what it is when you're building a program.
As far as unofficial visits, you said 29. What's the norm?
I think, the norm, to put it in perspective, so let's say 16 officials, and give or take a couple, I could be off by a couple, but the year before there was 1.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think that there was a lot. And unofficials, you're asking families, they come and they pay their own way. You don't pay for anything. So sometimes we'd have a team or 5 kids, and it was just a lot of work. I mean, we didn't have a weekend off for probably like 6 months. But it doesn't matter. It was the work paid off. And so that was the most important thing. And we shot high. We went after some really top kids, figured swing and miss. And when we land a couple, it was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then to get Dom and Ari and TT, they're a tremendous, and people don't even talk about that class. If that was ranked, that would be one of the top in the country also.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's just no ranking for transfers. So it does give us a lot more talent next year, but then there's other challenges. We still have a long ways to go. It's not like we have the number 4 class and we're just going to be, all of a sudden like win the Pac-12. It's a process. It takes time. It's getting those 8 or 9 players, new players to play well together and play well after sitting out a year and integrate the freshmen. So it's a process. It takes time. But if you look at Oregon, you look at UCLA, you look at Oregon State, it took them 4 or 5 years to build a solid program.
Not to knock anybody that's not here from previous years, but I mean, honestly, walking through the building, it's almost like a completely different set of faces. Not only the coaches, because you added Morgan Valley, but also the administrative people that work behind the scenes, in addition to the players. What's your mentality in terms of really setting this program up for success in the future?
The first thing is, like, my staff and the people around me have to be rock stars also, because the players value what you value as a staff. And when you're cohesive as a staff and you're on the same page and you're working for the same goal, players feed into that. They notice that. Players notice everything. So that's crucial, and I think that we have that, and that's extremely important. We all have to have the same vision and the same goals and the same aspirations. And the main thing for me is this is my alma mater, and so I can't be the only one that wants this place to be great. I have to surround myself with people that have that same vision and are going to work hard and know that it's going to be hard work with what we're doing. If it's easy, it's not really worth it usually. So it's going to be hard work for a while, but it's going to pay off, and we're going to have fun. We're going to have great chemistry together, all those things, but we're going to work our butts off.
their Arizona head coach with Adia Barnes joining us. Good luck to you
Thank
this
you.
season, and they will return here at McHale Center on November 28th.
And we want all of you at our games. We want to fill the stands, and we want the Zona Zoo to come too.